We are gathered here together today in this magnificent setting and on this wonderful occasion to witness the marriage of Gemma and Sean. Gemma said she wanted the ceremony to be traditional in some ways, but different in others. And my God, she's got her wish. Also, I think it is so very appropriate that they decided to start out on their marriage life here at the Masseria. Marriage is a challenge, and there is no better example for them to follow than what has been achieved here in the past few years. It has been proved that if you set your mind to something, and with hard work and perseverance and dedication, anything is possible. Indeed, what has been achieved here in the hills of Sicily, I think it could be said that the impossible is possible. So the example has been set for our two heroes. If they apply the same determination, dedication, and togetherness, they too can make a success of whatever they aspire to in the future. To this wonderful couple, I would say to make a relationship work, it takes more than love. It takes trust. And to know in your hearts that all you want is the best for each other. Gemma and Sean, I know you have love and I know you have trust. And above all, I know that you have the special spirit and spark that is definitely your own, which will deepen and strengthen the reality of your life together, and that spark will blossom into a ray of light which will illuminate the nooks and crannies as you make your way through life. Marriage is an adventure, and you are adventurers. You have scaled the heights of Annapurna in the Himalayas. You have scuba dived in the depths of the Pacific Ocean, and you have surfed on the roller coasters of Bali. This, I think, can be compared to what lies ahead of you, the highs and the lows you will encounter. And above all, having the strength and the ability to keep the correct balance on the surfboard of life. Knowing you as I do, you can and you will do it. Turn the page. Some of us are old enough to remember Max Bygraves. Hands up. Oh, hi, I'm not alone. And as he used to say, I'm going to tell you a story. Once upon a time, there was this little girl and this little boy who were in the same class at Meikle Mills School in Ellen. When the boy was 10 years old, he travelled far, far away to a distant land with his family. The little girl, though not heartbroken, missed him just a little bit. At the behest of the teacher, the class wrote individual letters to the little boy, wishing him all the best in his new life. The little boy's mother just happened to keep all the letters. I have here one particular letter, which starts off by saying in the traditional way, "How are you? I am fine." I wouldn't describe it as a love letter, but I would describe it as a lovely letter. It goes on to say that most of the people in the class have girlfriends and boyfriends. And then rather pointedly saying, "And you already know about me and David Itch." She then supposes that living in Thailand, he will have a heck of a tan. She finishes off by saying, "Well, it's time to go. I'll see you in a couple of years." A wee bit out we are timing. And it then goes on to say, "See ya. Well, it's time to go." And it's signed Gemma Bendry. I think that class was I don't know, a den and iniquity. Everybody had girlfriends in Morton, according to you. The little boy continued his education at the international school in Bangkok, the American school in Beijing, and the Alice Smith School in Kuala Lumpur, before returning to Napier University in Edinburgh and later to Aberdeen to pursue his career in the oil industry and in the North Sea and in the Far East. Not to be outdone, the little girl moved on to Ellen Academy along with Lauren, as she describes her bestest ever friend, and a bridesmaid here today, of course. Aberdeen College and Napier University in Edinburgh followed. The little girl admits that while they were both at Napier, she only once got a glimpse of her little boy when he faded into the distance, out of sight but not out of mind. She returned home and continued her studies at Robert Gordon University in Aberdeen. On graduation, she gained employment with a consultancy agency working in Aberdeen, Holland, and London. She was later offered a staff position with BP, again in London, and while there she shared a flat with Sophie, a former university colleague, and again another bridesmaid. Fast forward 18 years, not 2 years. 18. The location, a coffee shop in Belmont Street in Aberdeen. In the company of Jay, another of our bridesmaids, she spotted this tall, dark, handsome, curly-haired chap. Our little girl recognized him right away. It was her little boy. With more than a little encouragement from Jay, she stalked him on Facebook. To see what he'd been up to over all these years. Later on, she saw him again in the Monacord Centre, disappearing up an escalator and probably out of her life forever. Being the person she is, she decided she was not going to have this in any way. In fact, in Doric, we would be saying, I'm nae he and this. So, by the way, I think it's quite appropriate at this stage to say that David Itch has been long since forgotten. They met after the Facebook contact, and the rest is history. They set up home in Bangkok, where they met Una, our bridesmaid again today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And later moved to Bali. The full circle. 18 years, thousands of miles, a marriage meant to happen, and without doubt, a marriage made not in heaven, but in Ellen. Thank you. Brotherly and sisterly love is something to be cherished in a family. And with this in mind, I now call on Erin to read a few lines in tribute to her lifelong playmate, her schoolmate, and housemate, who she admits could be, on occasions, a pain in the backside. Nevertheless, all the way from Perth in Australia, Erin has a few words of encouragement to say to Sean.
Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look 'em over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down not so any good street. And you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. Out there things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. And then things start to happen. Don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along, you'll start happening too.
Well,
Gemma, I promise to love you for all that you are and all that you're yet to be. I promise to support you through the hard times and laugh with you through the good times. Gemma, I'm proud to be your husband and look forward to all our adventures together.
Sean, I promise to love you, be your best friend, and your biggest fan. Sorry. I promise to always be grateful to you for the places you will take me, the experiences you will give me, and the person that you make me. I promise to improve my cooking skills in the kitchen, kill spiders for you, and clean the fridge out more often. Today, I choose you to be my husband. What may come, I will always be there. Our love is an adventure, and I vow to continue it with you.
Wild. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of my wife, Liz and I would like to welcome you all and thank you all for coming to share with us this celebration of marriage of our daughter Gemma to Sean. Yay. First of all, gentlemen, mind you, I think you've all done it. Would you please relax jackets? As father of the bride, I have the honour of making the first speech and being the warm-up man for Gemma and Alan, the best man. After living in a house with 3 women for over 30 years, it makes a nice change to speak without being interrupted. It's good to see so many friends and family, most of whom have travelled far and wide. It's amazing to think that folk here have come from Scotland, England, Ireland, Australia, Canada, India, and Bali, and that's not these two. They've come here to be with us today, and it's good to see the tartan represented on this special occasion. A big thank you also goes to Gemma and Sean, who had very definite ideas on how they wanted this day to go. And of course to Fiona and Graham, whose understanding, patience to make this day a very, very special occasion. I would also like to mention at this point how stunning the bridesmaids, Jay, Lauren, Sophie and Una are. And of course, and not forgetting our pretty flower girl. Gemma is a wonderful daughter. She has provided us with much joy, happiness, trauma, stress, sleepless nights over the years, especially when out clubbing with her pals. Despite all this, we've always been very proud of her and everything she does. Now, bear with me, but there's a little bit of duplication because somebody stole my thunder. You probably all know by now how Gemma and Sean met, so I'll be very brief. They both went to the same primary school in Ellen. Then Graham, Sean's dad, went to work abroad, and of course the family followed. Years later, Gemma and her pals were talent spotting from a cafe in Aberdeen when this tall, dark and handsome man walked by, followed by Sean.
You can see his dad.
And all the girls commented, "Oh, he's fit." And Gemma declared, "I know him." The rest, as they say, is history. During the time we have known Sean, we've come to realise how special he is to Gemma, and I would like to take this opportunity to formally welcome him into our family. This is the part you're dreading. What is he going to say? You're okay. There's nothing too embarrassing. I'll not dwell on the Dudley, which was our lab cross, and the demise of one of your pals' new baby rabbits. It's far too emotional. For details, see Gemma later. Gemma's always had a sense for travel and adventure. This started at a very, very early stage in her life. In fact, it was during the time when Liz went into labour. We started off things in Summerfield Hospital in Aberdeen, but ended up travelling by ambulance to the Aberdeen Royal Infirmary, where Gemma finally put in an appearance on the 7th of November 1984. The midwife commented, "Oh, Mr. Benry, she looks just like you," and then realising her mistake, apologised and turned Gemma the right way up. When we moved Gemma lock, stock and shoes from our home in Ellen to her student accommodation at Napier University in Edinburgh, it was the start of another adventure where lifelong friendships are made, and one that also cost me a parking ticket. When we moved her from a flat in Aberdeen to start a new job in London, there was much trauma and stress, resulting in a tearful phone call for Mum to come and help her pack the cases. Eventually, I took her to the airport with strict instructions from Mum to accompany her to the check-in desk. That cost me 300 quid in excess baggage. Sean, a bit of advice, just a bit of advice, but I think you already know. Whenever you're travelling with Gemma or flying with Gemma together, always check the weight of the baggage. It's going to save you a fortune. Check it twice, because she's got a habit of slipping another one in after the... Both Gemma and Sean share the same sense for travel and adventure. Once they decided to go for a walk and ended up in Nepal, climbing the Annapurna Trail. On another occasion, they decided to go for a swim and came back qualified scuba divers. When preparing this speech, I looked for some photos and pictures for inspiration. One stood out in particular. It was a photo of our little girl crawling on the carpet, gurgling, drooling and trying to make a few wobbly steps. It's the only picture I have of Gemma on a hen night. Special. All that remains for me to say is to ask everyone to have a wonderful time this afternoon and evening. If you don't, then it's your own fault. My final duty and privilege is to propose a toast to our daughter and new son-in-law. No, so would you please charge your glasses?
I need a apology.
They're open. Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah. Red? You want?
Anything at all. Give me a red. Water will do. All right, dear.
Can I get blue bottle?
Some white. Oh, it's fine. Get it.
Okay.
Wait for people to settle. Wait for people to settle.
Alrighty.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's to the present for all you share. Here's to the future for all you look forward to together. Ladies and gentlemen, to Gemma and Sean. The bride and groom.
Cheers.
Let's make it official.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers, Brenda. Cheers, Brenda.
Okay. For those of you who know me probably aren't surprised that I wanted to say a few words today. And for those who know me really well will be really surprised that it's only a few. Okay, I've been looking forward to this bit. On behalf of my husband and I, we would like to thank each and every one of you for making this trip to Sicily and for being with us on our special day. This is the first time the Bendry and Morrison family and friends have all been together in the same place at the same time, so it's extra special and means the world to us that you all made the journey. Today would not have gone nearly as well without the generous help from so many people. I want to thank a number of special people for everything they have done for us. I'll try to keep it brief, but it's me, so I can't promise. Special thanks firstly to my own parents. In the time I've got now, I don't know how to get everything across that I want to say. Holding it together. Dad, thank you for your kind words and thank you for not embarrassing me completely. Throughout my life, you have always been the first person I turn to for help, advice, and DIY emergencies gone wrong. Thank you for being beside me on the most important day of my life. To my mum, my rock, my best friend, my advisor, my PA, and my favourite karaoke partner. Thank you for making me the person I am today. You make me very happy, and I hope I make you proud. You definitely do. I love you both very much, and thank you for everything you've done to make this day what it is. And I'm really sorry to the bank. And to my new mother and father-in-law. Thank you for everything you've done, including opening your home and transforming it to host our wedding and welcoming all this riffraff. Ladies, please don't get makeup on Fiona's fancy towels. And please compliment Graham on his cement mixing skills. Fiona and Graham made me feel so welcome right from the start. I feel immensely fortunate to have married into such a wonderful family. I'm very proud to be your son's wife. I can't put into words. I literally can't. I can't put into words how amazing he is. A credit to you both. And there's another Morrison I want to mention. I've gained another sister in Erin. Thank you for reading for us today and coming all the way from Australia. Erin and I have grown really close. With her getting married next year too, it meant she never got bored of my chat about wedding diets, colour schemes, cake fillings. Well, so she says. Thank you for your support and hard work, especially over the week that you've been here with us. Can everyone please acknowledge how clean the pool is? Scott will really appreciate it.
Yes, Scotty!
I'd like everyone to raise a glass to my beautiful bridesmaids. Lauren, Sophie, Jay,
Here's the
Una. Cheers to the bridesmaids. I'm sure everyone will agree they look amazing. I picked the dress, so you better. I can't promise that they'll look the same after the limoncellos. Thank you all for your love and your friendship. And everything you've done for me, including dressing me up as a chicken. Thanks. To my gorgeous flower girl, Bethan. You're a very special lady to me, and you made me very proud today. Thank you. To the sharpest looking fellas in Noto, Alan the best man, and Graham and Ryan our groomsmen. Where are they? Thank you for following my lists and schedules, even though you probably just wanted to burn them. Any friend of Sean's is a friend of mine. However, let's not forget this is dependent on the contents of Alan's speech. Sean, my best friend, my travel buddy, and now my husband. I won't get soppy because I'll cry. And Sean knows I cry really easily recently. Who would have thought MasterChef was so emotional? You made me the happiest girl in the world when you asked me to marry you. You made me laugh and enjoy each and every moment of life just by being part of mine. I read that you don't marry someone you can live with, you marry someone that you can't live without, and for me that person is you. Okay. Otherwise Heather's going to rage that my makeup's all over. I've got a couple of quick thank yous I need to give before I finish. I promise, it's coming. Antonio and Francesco. Along with Fiona, Antonio and Francesco have been my wedding planners and, more importantly, translators for us in Sicily. I'm eternally grateful for everything you've done for us, and quite literally we'd be lost in translation without you. Thank you very much. I also want to recognise Valentino Catering, who are providing this magnificent Sicilian feast being the right word, I think. Yeah. Paolo Papa, who managed to source the flowers I always wanted. Salvo, who helped Graham transform his home into the wedding venue. Concetto for the hay bales, and Marco for the photography. So smile, look nice, behave. Okay, this bit's an important bit. I can't sit without mentioning Granda Sandy. No. We are eternally grateful to you for marrying us today. Sandy's not only Sean's, he's not only Sean's granda, but he's also a very talented writer and speaker, and in our eyes was the perfect person for the job. I'm sure you'll all agree. He means so much to me that I adopted him as my granda too. Okay, I'm finished. Before I pass over to the best man, Alan, I'd just like to say enjoy the drinks and the delicious food. Please don't eat all of the dessert. I've been on a diet for like 6 months. It's mostly going to be mine. Salute!
I feel a bit bad for you guys.
Oh no, you can do it.
All right. Yeah, I just want to say what an incredible location this is. The wedding has been like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and I believe it's the hottest Ellen Gallo on record. Before I get started, I need to comment on all of the speeches we've heard before. Sandy was, you had me greeting during this thing, and I'm pretty hard, so thanks very much, Ben and Gemma, and well, that's enough of it, right? Yes. I'm here to talk about Sean. Your speech was great, Sandy, but you missed out about 18 years in there, right? A lot of that's the juicy bits. Okay, so let's get started. What Sean lacks in a formal education, he more than makes up for in street smarts. I met Sean the Mudman 10 years ago working on an oil rig in the North Sea. We were both massively underqualified for our jobs, so we had a lot in common from the start. We loved doing stupid sports that nobody else does, therefore making us better than everyone else at that sport. We have a mutual love for the comedic arts of Ricky Gervais. We both hated Aberdeen, and we both love drinking games. You'll find out more about that later. Living in Aberdeen, we tried to busy ourselves with stupid things. Driving for 5 hours to the west coast of Scotland to surf, getting out in the water, deciding the waves weren't quite right, spasming from the ungodly temperature, and then giving up and doing what we really came to do, which was drink beer and cook barbecues. Sean suffered a lot in his early surfing career in the North Sea, mostly due to his wetsuit that he got from Lidl. Thank you, Brenda. Sean he's a frugal man. The first time he ever went surfing in the North Sea, I was there with him, and he was very helpful to me when I got my leash wrapped around my neck, came out of the water, and all he could do was point and laugh. But Sean never let a bit of cold get in the way of a little bit of fun. You could find him in the Don Estuary and board shorts, certain parts of the hotter parts of the summer, until he broke our wakeboard winch by trying to fix it. Yeah. But after that, I ended up moving to India and Sean to Thailand. So we ended up going on quite a lot of holidays together, wakeboarding in the Philippines, surfing in Bali, drinking in Thailand. One of my favorite holidays with Sean was when he took me to the full moon party in Copenhagen. And at one point, somebody thought it would be funny to throw a bucket of water over Sean next to a big flaming, skipping rope. Yeah. Turned out it was a bucket of kerosene they used to light the skipping rope. Oh. Sean realized this quite quickly and did what any smart man would do and run into the sea. He runs in, starts trying to wash the gasoline or the kerosene off his body, only to turn around and notice that that was also the area that everybody used for the toilet. But you eventually got it off. Sean is a really selfless man. He once sacrificed a flight to spend a night in Manila, because I was there and my flight was the next day. We met a man called John Old, and upset a lot of Japanese guys by not taking karaoke seriously enough. More recently, there's been a new addition in Sean's life, and Jem has always welcomed me with open arms. I was actually there the day she moved to Thailand, so that was kind of like your stag do, I guess. Yeah. She's made him happier, stronger, much more mature, and even more obsessed with margaritas. I honestly couldn't wish for a better wife for my curly-haired homie. And thank you so much for the honor of doing this. So, everyone like to raise a glass to the bride and the groom.
To the
Enjoy your bride and groom. All right, that's